Welcome to our final lesson. This lesson is all about growing resilience. In the previous lessons, we've talked about what stress is, had you map out your own stress loop, how to widen that space between stimulus and response with mindfulness, how to balance your system, and also how to heal your nervous system. And now we're going to talk about resilience, how to grow this even in the face of stress. So in this lesson, we're going to be talking about really how to refocus your mind. Remember, earlier we talked about wherever your focus goes, there's an energy that tends to flow from that. And we can begin to practice refocusing our attention on what matters in all these different ways, whether it's engaging mindfulness or whether it's engaging this sense of caring about yourself or whether it's engaging this sense of actively relaxing. Now, we're going to talk about this method of these 3 R's that I created, which are called recognize, release, refocus. And in this case, we're going to be refocusing on something different. We're going to be refocusing on activating the part of our minds and bodies that's more in line with positive emotions like gratitude and appreciation. For example, I can think of in my life a time or a moment when I was feeling a great deal of joy. I think of the moment when I kneeled down on one knee in an arboretum in Texas in front of my girlfriend at the time and played her a song I wrote. And that was my song asking her to marry me. And that's my current wife. I can think about that memory and my shoulders start to tingle and my heart starts to enlarge and I start to feel a little lighter. I can think about a memory that's even simpler of sitting across the table from my dad, just having a cup of coffee at a restaurant, just me and him, which doesn't happen all too often, and how precious that moment is. I could think about a moment where I was playing a game with my son, and in that just simple game, which could be something that I could take for granted quite easily, but in thinking back of it and looking at his smile and his laughing and his playfulness, and a smile tends to come over my mind and my heart. These are just different examples of different memories that I can have. It could be somebody who smiled at me at a grocery store. And so what we're going to be doing in this particular practice it's about really growing resilience, about really practice and repetition with activating the part of our brain that's involved with appreciation and gratitude. I know that if I walk down the street and I'm in a particular mood and I'm not feeling well, and I see somebody who's a friendly acquaintance and I smile and I wave and they just look at me and walk on by, I'll have a particular type of reaction. I also know that if I was in a mood that was joyous and filled with gratitude and filled with lightness, and that same exact experience happened, I would have a different perception and even mental and emotional response to that exact same experience. You see, it turns out that when we're not feeling well and a negative experience happens, or a perceived negative experience, we attribute it to ourselves typically. Like, what did I do wrong? What's wrong with me? Or it tends to be stickier in general. And when we're feeling lighter, or there's more of a positive emotion there, it's more like water off a duck's feathers. In that experience, I might have said like, I wonder if they didn't see me, or I wonder if they're really concerned or worried about something. It would be more about them. So it doesn't stick to me quite as much. When we feel better, we're activating that left side of the brain like I talked about earlier. And we tend to be more resilient. So the easiest way to activate this gratitude and appreciation, typically people might give the exercise of creating a gratitude journal. Or sometimes what I say is if you're going to create a gratitude journal and think about what you're grateful for, one of the things you really want to do is bring the memory of it in your mind because you want it to get embodied. The more activation your brain has with that experience, the more likely it is to stick and be accessed during those difficult moments. But in this case, the easiest route, the fastest route to growing this feeling in you is to remember memories that actually happened. And you want to move them around like a movie in your mind. Who was there? What was happening? What was said? What was it about this memory that was so wonderful, that felt so good? And just feel it and grow it in your body. And in doing that, your body's literally changing. You're literally activating different parts of your brain, and you are literally physically feeling differently. So, with growing resilience, what we want to do is we want to notice when the stress response is there, or really anything that's happening during the day. This is just a tip to kind of bring into your day. Remember, practice and repetition is what makes things more automatic, create more mastery with it. So we want to refocus our mind. That's what this whole last lesson is about. And so we want to recognize when the loop is there. We want to release it. And we can release it with the relaxation response like we learned through that pranayama breathing. We can release it like we learned through softening our body or doing a gentle stretch. We can release it through practicing a mindfulness practice, that ACE practice that we did earlier, or a mindful check-in. We can release it by shaking our body. We can release it by dancing. We can release it in so many different ways. We can even release it by turning towards ourselves with more loving and caring like we did in the last lesson. But now we're going to also refocus on something different. Now we're going to refocus on the positive. We're going to refocus on these memories. By the way, this is a fantastic practice to do right when you wake up in the morning. So we're going to remember these positive memories. We're going to embody them. We're going to really feel them. So that's the tip. So think about positive memories for you in your life. Roll them around your mind and actually feel them in your body. Do that all throughout the day, a couple times throughout the day. Remember, the more you repeat something, the more automatic it's going to become. And then I want to also introduce you to a practice. The practice is a growing joy practice. And in this way, it's going to build on the last practice that we just did, the last short meditation we did. But in this case, it's focusing on happiness and success. It's focusing on the positive of these things. It's focusing on inviting the joy in and growing it. So when you're ready, get in a comfortable position. Again, either seated or lying down. Taking a couple deep breaths, giving yourself permission to do this. Giving permission to invite the joy in. So starting off by settling into this straight spine. Maybe even beginning with reflecting on that one memory. Just one memory. What's a memory in your life that you look back that you're really happy had happened? Something small or big, either way is okay. Reflect back on it and picture it in your mind. Who was there? What was happening? What was said? What was it about this memory that was so good? In your mind feeling so grateful, so appreciative that this experience happened. Maybe even noticing a smile forming inside of you. Now picturing a person or animal that's easy to care about. And remembering what it is about this person that you care about so much. And turning towards them as if they were sitting in front of you and saying to them, May your happiness and joy continue on and on. May your success in your personal and professional life continue to grow. May the love in your life continue to expand. Settling in, spending a few moments continuing to wish them these joyful intentions. Now turning it towards yourself. May my happiness in this life go on, continue on and on. May the success in my personal and professional life continue to grow. May the love towards myself and towards others continue to expand. Sensing into these positive intentions towards yourself, breathing in, taking them in. Now imagining sitting next to each other, looking out over the entire world. Into the entire world, breathing in, sending these intentions, these joyous intentions towards yourself, breathing out, imagining them spreading out to the people you care about and the people they care about until the network surrounds the entire world. May your happiness continue to grow. May your personal and professional success continue to expand. May the love that you feel in your life continue to go on and on. Breathing in one for me, breathing out, expanding it across and around the entire world. And also just checking in now, noticing how you're feeling, your body's feeling, how you're feeling emotionally. If it's a good feeling, just have it and enjoy it. And remember to bring this into the rest of your day. So in this final lesson, understanding what stress is, how to identify it, different ways of interrupting the stress loop, expanding that space between stimulus and response with mindfulness, balancing your nervous system, healing your nervous system, and now growing resilience. These are all skills that you can practice and repeat, remember. And when there's moments that are tougher, that's an opportunity to move towards the healing your nervous system. It's a tough moment in life. There's tough moments. What do I need right now? Use it as a teacher. Bring a learning mindset to this entire program. You can learn to get better and better at it. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And as you do, you'll grow a sense of mastery around your stress. I wish for you great success throughout this entire program, bringing it into your minds and your hearts. And I'll see you in another program. Take good care.